In the quiet, unassuming farmlands of Minnesota, a discovery was made in 1898 that would ignite a firestorm of controversy, a debate that smolders to this very day. It is the story of the Kensington Runestone, a slab of gray-wacky sandstone, etched with ancient characters, purporting to tell a tale of Norse explorers venturing deep into the heart of North America centuries before Columbus. Could it be true? Or is it one of history's most elaborate hoaxes? Our journey begins with Olof Ohman, a Swedish immigrant farmer clearing his land near the small town of Kensington. As he toiled to remove an aspen tree, its roots stubbornly clinging to the earth, he unearthed a flat gray stone, approximately 30 inches long, 16 inches wide, and 6 inches thick. Entangled in the tree's embrace, the stone bore strange, angular carvings. Ohman, recognizing them as similar to runes he had seen in his homeland, brought it to the attention of local scholars in the wider world. The inscription, when translated, told a dramatic story. It spoke of 8 Goths, Swedes, and 22 Norwegians on an exploration journey from Vinland, far to the west. It mentioned a camp by 2 skerries, a day's journey north from the stone. 10 men, it said, were left by the sea to look after their ships, 14 days' journey from this island. The date inscribed was 1362. The implications were staggering. If authentic, the Kensington Runestone would rewrite the history of European exploration in the Americas, placing Norsemen in Minnesota over a century before Columbus's famed voyage. The initial excitement was immense. Here was tangible proof of Viking daring, a testament to their incredible reach. However, skepticism quickly followed. Philologists and historians of the early 20th century largely dismissed the stone as a modern forgery. The runes themselves were a curious mix of forms, some appearing anachronistic for the 14th century. The language used, while seemingly archaic, contained elements that critics argued pointed to a 19th century understanding of Old Norse, rather than genuine medieval vernacular. The very idea of Vikings penetrating so far inland, seemingly without a clear purpose or established trade route, struck many as improbable. The narrative of the inscription, with its almost too perfect details of tragedy and exploration, felt more like romantic fiction than a terse historical record. Yet, the stone refused to be easily dismissed. Proponents emerged, armed with counter-arguments and new lines of inquiry. Geologists examined the weathering of the stone and its inscriptions, with some concluding that the carvings could indeed be centuries old, consistent with the 1362 date. The tree under which it was found was estimated to be around 40 years old, suggesting the stone had been in place before Ohman's farm was even settled. Linguistic arguments also resurfaced. Some scholars proposed that the dialect on the stone represented a unique, isolated form of Norse, perhaps influenced by local languages or evolving in a small, cut-off community. They pointed to specific rune forms and vocabulary that, while unusual, might not be definitively anachronistic. The debate raged, a fascinating collision of scientific analysis, historical interpretation, and deeply held beliefs about national heritage. Was Olof Ohman a simple farmer who stumbled upon an extraordinary artifact, or a clever hoaxer with a surprising knowledge of runology? No evidence ever directly implicated Ohman in a forgery. He maintained his innocence and the truth of his discovery until his death. The context of the 19th century, a time of burgeoning Scandinavian immigration to the Midwest, and a romantic fascination with Viking history, certainly provides a plausible backdrop for a hoax. Yet the stone's physical characteristics and the enduring questions about its inscription keep the mystery alive. Could a small band of Norse explorers, perhaps part of the expedition led by Paul Knutsson, which King Magnus IV of Sweden and Norway allegedly dispatched to Greenland, and parts unknown in the mid-14th century, have indeed made their way to Minnesota? The historical records are tantalizingly vague. The journey would have been perilous, an epic trek through uncharted wilderness. What fate befell these supposed explorers? The stone speaks of men red with blood and dead, a tragic end to a bold venture. Today, the Kensington Runestone resides in a museum in Alexandria, Minnesota, a silent enigma. It draws believers and skeptics alike, each finding in its weathered face reflections of their own interpretations. It has become a powerful symbol for some, a testament to Scandinavian heritage in America and a source of local pride. For others, it remains a curious footnote, a clever forgery that captured the public imagination. The truth, perhaps, lies somewhere in the gray areas, as elusive as the shadows in the Minnesota woods. What is undeniable is the stone's power to provoke thought, to challenge our understanding of the past, and to remind us that history is not always a settled narrative, but often a collection of intriguing, unanswered questions. What do you believe? The journey of discovery, whether of ancient artifacts or historical truths, is one that never truly ends. Subscribe,